We're following breaking news. President Trump's stunning tweet making a thinly veiled threat against the former FBI Director James Comey, fired by the president just days ago. Let's get some Democratic reaction. Congressman Eric Swalwell is joining us. He's a member of both the Intelligence and Judiciary Committees. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure, Wolf.
So the president tweeted today that Comey, quote, better hope there are no tapes of their conversations. As you know, Democrats on the Judiciary and Oversight Committees, they're requesting copies of all recordings in possession of the White House regarding this matter. Has there been, as far as you know, any response?
Not yet, Wolf. And tapes is a five-letter word that conjures up a five-letter prior president that I don't think we really want to compare President Trump to, but it looks like we're getting closer and closer to that, Wolf. The president needs to get out of the way of these investigations and get to work for the American people who are counting on him to deliver jobs and opportunities. So I agree with my colleague and friend Ted Yoho. He should be more focused on that and let these investigations proceed.
Do you believe there are tapes?
I don't know. I don't know what to believe with this president. This is the same person who said that President Obama was wiretapping Trump Tower. So a lot of times he says things to deceive, distract, or disrupt.
So tell us why you think he's getting closer to Nixon.
Well, the way that he, fired Director Comey, Wolf, Congress is home this week, and I spent my time home going to 5 different Rotary clubs. Rotary Club members have a good sense of what's important in our country. They're community leaders. And what they told me about this firing is it stinks. You can't fire the guy who's investigating you. And that's a lot like what we saw from the Nixon administration. The
president cited the whole Russia investigation when saying that's the reason he decided to fire Comey, calling that investigation, he said it was a made-up investigation. He said it was a hoax. Does all of this rise to the level of obstruction of justice?
Well, what we need to do is to get to the bottom of who was the president talking to at the Department of Justice? What is the role of the Attorney General? He told Congress that he was recusing himself because he had told the Senate that he had no contacts with Russia and then had to go back and amend that statement. And so I want to know what the Attorney General's role is now in the Russia investigation. Is the president limiting the resources the FBI has to go forward? So I'm not going to jump to conclusions just on that, Wolf. But right now, we need the FBI's investigations and the House and Senate investigations to be unimpeded by politics.
Why didn't the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, recuse himself from the firing of Comey if he was fired because of the Russia investigation?
He shouldn't have been anywhere near that firing. This was the chief investigator for the FBI overseeing an investigation into the president's campaign. And if Jeff Sessions was sincere in recusing himself, he wouldn't have sent a letter to the president recommending Director Comey's firing. I think he should come before the House Judiciary Committee and explain what was going on.
A few of your Democratic colleagues, not many, but a few, have already said this could potentially lead to impeachment. Do you think there are grounds potentially that could lead to impeachment?
Wolf, the I word that I think we should use right now is investigation. And we have investigations in the House, the Senate, and the FBI, but hurdles keep getting put up for those investigations. We need to clear those hurdles, get to the finish line, and tell the American people what Russia did, whether any U.S. persons were involved, make sure, if so, they are held accountable. But most importantly, Wolf, make reforms so that a hack like this, an interference campaign like this, never happens again. I think that would be most reassuring for the American people.
Have you seen any evidence of collusion?
Wolf, I want to make it clear that evidence of collusion is different than being guilty of collusion. Because the FBI is investigating this and because the House and Senate are looking at this, we are reviewing documents, witness accounts, witness testimony, and so that is evidence. But evidence has to be tested and has to be developed, and so we are a long way away from making any conclusions.
The now former FBI Director James Comey has declined an invitation from the Senate Intelligence Committee to testify, at least not now. Do you believe his testimony is, though, absolutely necessary for this ongoing investigation?
Yes, I do. I'd be pretty upset if I was Director Comey, so I think taking a couple days to cool off would probably serve him well. But I do want his honest assessment of what happened, what was said at that dinner conversation, what other conversations he had with President Trump, and whether he was requesting more resources for the FBI's investigation, and if that was approved or denied.
As you know, all senators will be briefed behind closed doors next week by the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein. Do you have any indication the House will also get a similar briefing?
I hope the House Judiciary Committee and the Intelligence Committees are briefed by the new acting director of the FBI, but also by the Deputy Attorney General, Rosenstein. So, hopefully the House receives the same briefing as the Senate. CNN
is reporting that the Deputy Attorney General doesn't see a need at this point for a special prosecutor in the ongoing probe into Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election. React to this, because so far I don't think there are any Republicans who have formally, publicly called for a special prosecutor.
Respectfully, the appearance or perception of a conflict of interest is just as bad if there is a conflict. And so I think just to get rid of the appearance that is certainly out there, the country would be served by having a special prosecutor.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, thanks so much for joining us.